This question has been asked by a number of people today. Could Hazur please comment on whether genetically modified food products fall within halal guidelines?
Genetically modified food products are in a way helping the human society as far as their food resources are concerned. They are helping shortage of food everywhere in the world, and also in the Western society, in the Western countries. Genetically improvised food can produce more than ordinarily produced food. That is a good point of it. The intention is good, no doubt. But there are bad points as well, because genetically produced food loses some of its flavor and taste. And not only that, it can also create problems with the human's health, which are problems can be detected later on. Because experiment with the human economy, that is internal human economy, has to be very cautious. And just because they have developed a certain types of wheat and other plants or fruit plants which grow larger mass of fruit or vegetable is not the problem and is not all the problem. The problem is what will they do to the human economy inside? What will be their effect on the future generations of mankind? So I'm not very sure that this is an advisable and acceptable proposition to the solution. But at the moment I cannot suggest any other alternative solutions. Sorry.
Mr. Turnbull also asked a related question: what is your view on genetic modification of animal life? Example, Dolly the sheep.
Genetic modification of animal life is a very dangerous exercise. And according to the Holy Quran, this attempt on the part of man to interfere with the genetic signals within chromosomes, etc., can produce horrific effects on the mankind, and whether the experiments are carried with animals or on humans is the same thing. You know, to my knowledge, they do not have the full command over the outcome of these experiences. And the scientists involved in this task admitted in so many words. They think that a part of a chromosome can be attached to another part of the chromosome of the female, for instance, or from one animal's chromosome, if that is linked on to that part of the chromosome to another animal, the result would be what they foresee. But their experiments have told that the results were not what they foresaw. They were many a time most unpleasantly surprised. So this I am just quoting in favor of a Quranic prophecy that when mankind will try to change human or animal life genetically, this will be at the behest of Satan, and they will find it extremely dangerous game, which will ultimately turn the tables against humans at last.
The next question is from Mr. Derek Wareham, who is a Christian from England.
Please.
He says, thank you for the opportunity to ask questions today, and ask two questions. One, I am told that your group has been persecuted. Do you draw a comparison between yourselves and the Jews, a chosen people with a special mission? If so, what is your mission?
We do not draw a comparison between us and the Jews, but we draw a comparison between us and the early Christians. And because the founder of the Ahmadiyya community claimed to be spiritually Messiah of the age, so that should have been the comparison, and that is the comparison. Thank you.
Question 2. Though I do not fully comprehend the great love of God or understand the death and resurrection of Jesus, I believe. This belief forms the basis of my life. Could you please comment?
I think that which you cannot understand, you should not believe in. Because then a partition will be created, inaccessible partition from which your rationality will not be able to jump over to the other side of your faith. With the result that the faith and rationality will go on falling apart from each other, gaining more distance. And that creates fanaticism. If you analyze fanaticism, religious fanaticism anywhere in the world, whether in the Muslim world or Christian world or Jewish world, the same would be the answer. Because they want to keep their faith alive and they cannot meet the modern challenges of sciences, etc. So to protect their faith against these challenges, they say faith is something and science is something else. While they are not two different things. Faith is a word, should be understood as word of God, and science should be understood to be the act of God. So the unity of God requires that both should agree with each other.
The next question is from Mr. Hatim D. Adams, who is British but originally from Kenya. Again, two questions. One, why do Muslims around the world not celebrate Eid on the same day?
Fine.
Why don't Muslims celebrate Eid on the same day?
It's not possible because the Eids to which you are referring are related to moons and not to sun. So because the moons vary from place to place and they do not follow the same dates everywhere, so the Eids have to be on different days. And perhaps this is the purpose, intended purpose of God, that all over the world the Eid should be celebrated on different days. Thank you.
Why do you call yourselves Ahmadi Muslims?
That is to express in brief, the differences between us and other Muslims. And they themselves also call themselves this, for instance, Wahhabi Muslim or Shia Muslim and this Muslim and that Muslim. That does not mean that they don't consider themselves to be Muslims. They do believe that they are Muslims, but in short, to express their stamp of beliefs, they use these terms. So exactly in the same way, Ahmadis use the word Ahmadiyya so that people can understand the message of Ahmadiyya. Immediately they know this is the type of their belief which they hold.
Mr. Shaukat Jingu, who is a Mauritian. He says, in the Sunday Times today,